Hi, and welcome to the 2022 Turin Epicurean Capital 9th edition. I'm here with Lucia. Lucia, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a native of Torino, and my dream in my life had always been to live in the US. So, after my laurea or my university degree here in Turin, it was in American Studies, I moved to the US and I completed my master's in Italian Studies at Ohio State, and then I worked at Purdue where I met you.
Yes, it's true.
And I was teaching Italian there. I also taught for University of Florida in Rome. Boy, that was a shock. To move from the Midwest to Rome and then back to Turin. Basically, when I came back, I was in Switzerland. And so I said, oh my God, look, I'm living in Switzerland. But no, it was Turin, Italy. And so I had this, urge, this need of sharing what my normalcy was back then.
So now you run Turin Epicurean Capital. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So turinepi Capital started as a once a year event with specialists of an expert of food and wine, local artists, writers, people that knew the region, the city, but that were also into all the sectors that we are expert here in the locality in Turin and in Piedmont, that would come over to talk about all their favorite topics. So food, wine, fashion, vacation, the travel sector, and then they would, share what they would see here. But then COVID hit, and this was a big problem.
Yeah, I understand.
And at the same time, I was receiving requests for walking tours, but not like the classic things. It was more like, live the city like a local tour. And then obviously Italian classes, because that had always been my job. And then people wanted to relax. And because I'm a yogi, then I also started including yoga classes.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So, what else do you offer in terms of a walking tour? I've taken one, and as far as I know, we saw the history about the Jewish people that were taken away during World War II and how they're memorialized, the Baroque architecture and the different architectures around here, how the city was started in the Savoy family.
What I tried to do is to convey the city, how the locals are experiencing it. So this is like an open air museum. So we usually never go to museums because when you travel, you can see the museum on your own, right? On your free time. However, when you're new, you do not know what you are seeing, but most of the times you don't really care about the history details. So what I show you is how me and my family live today. The streets where we go strolling, and you were talking about the stepping stones. So these are brass little plates that are placed in front of where the people that got the victims of the Holocaust, where they used to live before being deported to the concentration camps. Then we go to coffee shops to have a coffee break, and Turin is a nice stop. When the places are overcrowded or if they are not so convenient, I still show you that those are options. And in fact, you might remember that you were taking pictures of all the places where you wanted to go shopping because people want to come over to Turin to shop. And one of the comments that I often receive is that in Via Roma, our Fifth Avenue, one of our two actually here in Turin, we have amazing shops. So people want to know where to buy, where they can buy cheese, olive oil, wine, and then the tastings.
Yeah, the Guido Gabino tasting.
Yeah.
I believe you also took us to the market, which had the best strawberries I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and the other thing that I share is how the city changes according to the seasons. So this is another interesting thing. When you go to Venice, of course you perceive the difference in temperature between the summer and the winter. But in Turin, you see it at the market. You see it because the produce, the vegetables, everything the strawberries,
Yeah.
or the ramassine. Do you know what the ramassine are?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, ramassines! This is too early. You need to come back later in the summer. Ramassines are teeny tiny plums originally from Syria that you can only find here in Piedmont. They are extra sweet. They are the size of grapes, but they are plums. So you know that when you see them at the market, that's the 3 weeks of their production in July.
Wow.
And that's it. So it's quite a different feeling from the one size fits all of what you can get in organized tours and with tours of people that just do not customize, because I customize.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And then one thing that I use a lot is visualization. In fact, you might remember as we were walking down in Viapol, that is the direction to go to the university. I always tell to pretend to be the king and the queen, because that's where the royal family was walking by along the street to go to church. So it's not just what you see, but it's more how you feel.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Ciao.